Hello, welcome to Bryan Living and Learning. I'm Alan Brugman with the City of Bryan.
And I'm Sandy Ferris with Bryan ISD. Today we'll check on the progress of the installation of the artificial turf at Merrill Green Stadium, and we'll also see what some of our bilingual students are doing in summer school.
We'll show you some of the highlights of outgoing BTU General Manager Dan Wilkerson's retirement ceremony, and we'll show you our regular reoccurring segments, Do It Downtown and Be Green in Bryan. But first, the folks at the Travis B. Bryan Municipal Golf Course are attempting to increase the popularity of the game of golf. And they're doing that with a whole bunch of summer programs geared towards expanding the game. One of those is called Starting New at Golf, or the SNAG program. We recently held a media day to showcase that SNAG program and other programs that the golf course is offering.
Industry's losing golfers. You know, what are we missing? What is the demographic we're missing? Why are people not golfing? And based on the information that we gathered from that, we really looked at who we have for golfers here now, what demographic are we missing, what can we do to change maybe fee structure, type of programs we offer, anything that would bring in new golfers to the course and give us a chance to retain golfers. So in the 5 different reasons people don't play, from costing too much to taking too much time, course is too crowded, too difficult, or the spouse doesn't play. Most of our programs address those issues. Our whole initiative for the year is a family-friendly course. And so when you look at programs, be it the SNAG program behind us, or it's okay to play golf for fun, just an 18-point initiative that lets people know that you can bend the rules a little bit. It's okay, because we want you to have fun. The idea of having families come out, play together, and do this sport together is extremely exciting, and that's our main focus for this year and going forward, so that they do spend time together and do a lifelong sport together. SNAG program is Starting New at Golf, and it's made for beginners. Equipment comes in different sizes. You can see it's oversized, not clubs, they call launchers, and what looks like tennis balls, but everything is designed to teach how to hold the clubs properly, how to swing properly, the basic fundamentals of the game, and it transfers very easily and quickly to using regular clubs once the person that's using it gets technique down correctly.
Alan, is that program targeted just for younger golfers?
It's not just to the kids, it's also geared towards women as well. They'll have workshops out at the golf course for the SNAG equipment for women. For all the scheduling and all the details on that, visit bryangolf.com.
Well, on to another athletic subject. Because the district had some money left in the 2008 bond package, we were able to fund the installation of an artificial surface at both Merrill Green Stadium and a half field at Rudder High School.
Well, we've been fortunate to get this project going early spring. School board approved the funds through a previous bond issue that we had passed for facilities, and we were going to have an upgrade to our track at Merrill Green Stadium either way. So it was really a great opportunity and window to look at putting the artificial turf in here. So from there, we had the turf company selected by April. Then they got started to work immediately, the next day actually, with BSI Construction, who's here local, and they've been going ever since, and we've got a lot of progress made thus far. It's been a very interesting process. There's so much into the base work of a field. Track has been easy to do thus far. It would just scrape off the rubber off the top and inspect the asphalt, which turned out to be very, very good. So we're having very few repairs on that. Didn't cost us any money to speak of. And then from there, excavation of about 6,000 tons of dirt. But before we could do that, the far end, the north end Briarcrest, we had to construct a new D zone, which is the high jump pit. So that'll be basically track surface for the high jump. All the other field events are moved outside behind the berm on the Walmart side. That'll be our pole vault, triple jump, long jump. So now we pretty much have a pure field from sideline to sideline, track to track. And from there, it was pretty much getting all the base work done, which is the critical thing. If there's any demons in a project, it's your base work, because you have to actually get the soil compacted to a degree where your field doesn't shift in the future. And what you see behind us right now is the finished product. It's an entombment where there's been a 6-inch layer of crust hard enough to be stable, and then over that they put this impermeable liner and then the French drain system inside of that. So now moisture doesn't get below the surface, so there won't be a lot of expansion or shrinking of the ground in the future. And as we're speaking, this is the first load of sand, or first load of rock coming in today. Now what they'll do is bring in all the white rock for the base to the field, and this will probably take at least a week to do. They'll be spreading rock, bulldozing it across this field, and then hopefully a week from Friday, we should start seeing turf appear on the scene. The benefit to the whole project for the kids is that we're going to be on the field pretty much non-stop, whether it's having 2 high schools using it, 4 middle schools. The thing that we have to be very careful about is lightning, not rain. We've had a great grass field in the past, but the price for having that field was staying off of it. So 4 days a week you're staying off of it, and kids can't be used during their off-season periods, practices. You know, we're dealing with mud, pulled groins, ankles. And now, for the most part, when you're clear of lightning, you can be on this field 100% of the time. And the same thing for the practice field that we'll have at Rudder High School. So with that being said, now we're able to facilitate more kids and more events on the field, which is a benefit to our district for our kids alone, but also to host more games here in the future, which is a source of revenue for Bryan ISD. The project will be done on a deadline of August 1st, but we'll be done before that unless we hit some type of unforeseen weather pattern. We're already out of the ground and putting rock and turf down at this point, and it's mid-June. And so to be at that point, the slow part of this project will be the track, because I need to finish all the turf, and then Bryan Track Company will come in through BSI's direction, and we'll put a track in here, which takes a little longer to cure, but for the most part, the field will be ready plenty early. Do not foresee any shortcomings to get Rudder done in time as well. So we'll be ready for football season. We'll be ready for 2-a-days. So, you know, it was a good time period to get started. Timing was perfect with board approval, and to get a turf company selected and start with a local company here. Tom Burnside and his group mobilized very quickly, and we were able to get started quickly, and we've had a great weather pattern. So now that we're out of the ground, most of the headaches are over. Now it's just putting the icing on the cake.
Well, Sandy, I'm assuming they're on track to finish before football season.
They are. The surface will be ready sometime later in July, and they're on target to begin 2-a-days in August.
Coming up next in Do It Downtown, Cassidy Barton tells us about a new project for Save the Queen.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Barton with the Downtown Bryan Association. One of the most visible projects of the DBA has been the restoration of the historic Queen Theater in downtown Bryan. Now, many of you have probably already noticed the new facade that was in place in October of 2011, but there's still a lot of work to be done on the interior. This swing, made by hand by retired firefighter Andy Ramirez and his brother Bobby Ramirez, is made entirely out of wood salvaged from the Queen Theater balcony. Square nail heads and original saw blade marks are still visible on much of the wood used in this swing. As a part of a fundraising effort for the next phase of construction, the Downtown Bryan Association is holding a drawing for this swing. The drawing for the swing will take place on August 31st, and you can get your tickets at First Friday in July or August, or by calling the Downtown Bryan Association office at 979-822-4920. Well, this has been Do It Downtown. We'll see you next time.
And if you want to keep up to date on where you can buy those tickets, stay tuned to downtownbryan.com. For our next story, we're going to stay in downtown Bryan and be green in Bryan. We're going to catch up with Keep Brazos Beautiful and a grant that they're working on that will benefit downtown businesses.
And we've received a grant from Keep America Beautiful to implement the cigarette litter prevention program. And it's a multi-phase program that will outlast about 6 months worth of research and working with merchants. And so what we're doing right now is just talking to merchants about having proper cigarette receptacles in front of their buildings, and those that do not, offering them an opportunity for us to provide one for them, along with some education so that they can help keep their storefronts and those surfaces much cleaner and litter-free. Well, the problem with cigarette butts, and most people don't realize, is that they are actually very toxic. They're actually the most harmful source of litter in the entire country. And that's because they are very small, and even though the filter is made with paper, they are soaked in so many chemicals that keep evolving with the environment. And so they're actually very dangerous to our environment, our water systems, our local wildlife habitat that eats them or accidentally chokes on them, and just also causing litter here in the community.
Now, Alan, in a previous segment of Be Green and Bryan, there were some interns working on a program. Is that what this was?
Yeah, those are the same interns, and this is their big summer project working at Keep Brazos Beautiful. The younger students you saw in this story were actually job shadowing those summer interns.
Well, it may be summer, but the learning doesn't stop. Some bilingual students are getting a chance to hone their skills in summer school.
The summer bilingual program serves pre-K and K students to prepare them to be ready for their their grade next school year. So the pre-K students are here to be prepared for kindergarten next year, and kindergarten students are here to be prepared for first grade next year. And the students that are here were all students that were served in a bilingual program this past school year, and they're here for language development with English and Spanish. So we do measure their gains in their language, and we also measure gains in academics.
Teachers are helping students to become more successful in all content areas, but mainly in science and math and language arts. The instruction is given in English and in Spanish, and they're providing differentiated instruction, trying to meet the needs of every single student. So they are using ongoing assessment and teachers' observation to really drive their instruction. So like they are using different stations, but it's all on academics, based on academics, and they're learning different things, but all it's academics. Pre-K, we have pre-K and kindergarten teachers, so that everybody's helping the students to be more successful in the following year.
We have about 400 bilingual students, 200 in kindergarten, 200 in pre-K. We're also housing the migrant summer school program to about 50 students, grades 1 through 8. That's a math enrichment program, and that is done predominantly all in English. This morning, Dr. Wallace came by and read to the kindergarten group, and we're always appreciative of him coming. He's done it for the last 2 years, and then when he's finished, he gave all the kids hugs, so it's very special, and we enjoyed his visit.
Well, Sandy, this is just another great example of a summer program that you guys offer at BISD.
It is, and this is not the first year we've offered this particular program. We've done this for a number of years.
Well, after more than 3 decades serving Bryan, Texas Utilities customers, General Manager Dan Wilkerson announced his retirement, and folks from across the state came to honor him at his retirement reception. The lobby of the LaSalle Hotel was full of well-wishing friends as they came out to congratulate Dan Wilkerson on his retirement. Wilkerson worked at BTU for 34 years. Mayor Jason Bianski was present at the reception and had a rather lengthy proclamation to read honoring Dan's accomplishments.
Now, therefore, I, Jason Bianski, on behalf of the Bryan City Council and on behalf of all the citizens of Bryan, College Station, Brazos County, Robertson County, Burleson County, and state of Texas, do hereby gratify and present this gift of appreciation to Dan Wilkerson for his service and commitment to the city of Bryan for its citizens for 34 years. Thank you.
People close to Dan addressed the crowd, telling stories and thanking him for his leadership and friendship.
The first time I remember seeing Dan was in the middle of the night. I had never met him before. It was in the middle of the night at Curtin Substation. All of a sudden this tall guy comes up and he's standing there, and I said, man, who is this guy, man? And he, didn't say a whole lot. We talked a little bit. And he never did tell me who he was, and but I think he knew who I was, because Dan has a knack. He knows everybody, everywhere, and he knows a little bit about everything. Don't forget that.
I really didn't think he was ever going to retire. It does look like it's going to happen, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. Dan, I have a couple of things that I want to share with you about retirement. Things that I think you're probably going to hear. First, from time to time, my wife Hilda is asked, "What's Bill doing now that he's retired?" And she quickly responds, "Nothing." And he's getting really good at it. And it never starts before noon.
From everybody at the City of Bryan and Bryan, Texas Utilities, we'd like to wish Dan Wilkerson a very happy retirement.
And we have a program note for you. We'll be off the air in July, but we'll come back in August with brand new Bryan Living and Learning.
And to close out this episode, we'll show you some highlights from the very first Blues Festival held recently in downtown Bryan.